Hey guys, it's Maris. Welcome back to my channel where I review horror books with a supernatural focus. In today's video, we have an unboxing and it is for my favorite box, the Abominable Book Club box. Let's go ahead and open this up and see what's inside. But before we do that, be sure to like and comment down below. Let me know what you think of this box and all of its contents. And if you would like to get more videos from me, please subscribe. It's a really nice day today. It is really sunny. It just feels like spring. Okay, so customs has gone through this box, so it's a little bit of a mess, but this is what it looks like. On the very top, I can see that there is something very different. It says "We all float down here," and it is a red balloon, and you know who this is about. So I love it, and I love Pennywise, so this is very cool. And it's a patch, so you can stick it on anything, you know, to keep Pennywise close, I guess. So that's very cool. I don't think we've ever received a patch before, so that's a really, really cool and exciting.
I just love surprises, don't you?
I see the drinks. Let's go ahead and open these up. They have already been mauled through by customs. We have 2 teas from Off Black, Squeeze Me, jasmine and orange flavor, and nicely spicy cranberry and cinnamon. This is a different flavor than the other ones I've received, and this is called Lion's Rockadero No. 5, dark and lively. And then we have our Galaxy Hot Cocoa and our Nescafe unsweetened cappuccino. Now let's check out the treat in here. Okay, we've had these before, I believe. These are Welsh cakes, soft cakes with currants and sultanas. If you do get this box and you're in the United States, keep in mind that the expiration dates, they have the day first and then the month. Sometimes that can be a little confusing and you might get something and you're like, oh, it's expired already. But it smells like a biscuit, like an American biscuit. Okay, it's soft. It's a bit chewy. It has a lot of raisins in it, so if you don't like raisins, you're not gonna love these, but I love raisins. I think I'm the only person I know that loves raisins. It's very dense. It is a bit heavy. I was expecting it to be really, really sweet, but it's not actually. It's very, very vague, like just barely there. Just the raisins are very sweet. I think these are gonna be perfect with tea or coffee or something. Speaking of coffee. Yeah, that goes good together. I don't put sugar in my coffee, so it's just coffee and milk, but very nice. Very nice. Okay, so on the very top, we have the used book. This box is the full guts version of this box. That means that we get a used book, a new book, and then some kind of additional release. It could be like an older release or a whole nother book, a magazine, an ebook, could be anything. We also get 2 bookmarks, the drinks and the treat, and a pin, but sometimes the pin can be something else, like a patch. So this is my favorite item in the box just because it's always going to be a surprise and everybody gets something different. This has really nice wrapped paper with like blood speckles on them and a really cool wax seal from the Accursed Library. It just has a whole entire vibe, so I always open this at the end. So I'll put this to the side for now. The next thing in the box are the 2 bookmarks. It's usually artwork that's inspired by horror film and books or culture. And this one says Potter's Creek Road. And on the back, there are 2 very large red eyes with a reflection of someone screaming. I feel like this might be Mothman related, but I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to check in the spoiler card. The other bookmark is the Abominable bookmark. It has the QR code for the spoiler, and it has a microfiction in the back.
Bookmark 6 Series 5.
George bent down and plucked out the object wedged between the cobbles. It looked like a coin, but it was as smooth as glass and pitch black, like obsidian. George put it in his pocket. On the way home, George stopped at the newsagent and picked up a couple of scratch cards. As he did every week, he used the black coin to scratch away the foil and was surprised to see he had won 500 pounds. George became convinced the coin was good luck, and he took it everywhere with him for an entire year. In that time, he won many more scratch cards and even met a woman whom he intended to marry someday. He was on a roll. He was happy. One day, while stepping out into the street, George's luck ran out. Amongst the broken glass, the screams, and the blaring of car horns, the obsidian black coin span to a stop in the middle of the road. Well, I think I know what happened here. Poor George was finally happy and...
The time has come to end this.
The next thing in the box is... Ooh, nice artwork. Sister Maiden Monster by Lucy A. Snyder. Oh, Christopher Golden has a review here. He did The Road of Bones, which I really liked, so I'm totally like hooked on to Christopher Golden. A hideously gory, kink-fueled, feminist, cosmic horror apocalypse novel that should be on the top of everyone's reading. There's also a quote here from Haley Piper, delicious and devious. Gwendolyn Kist, unsettling and unexpectedly timing, and Philip Fracassi, sensuous, sinister, and sinewy. A virus tears across the globe, transforming its victims in nightmarish ways. As the world collapses, dark forces drive a small group of women together. To survive, they must evolve. Erin, once quiet and closeted, acquires an appetite for a woman and her brains. Why does forbidden fruit taste so good? Savannah, a professional BDSM switch, discovers a new turn-on, committing brutal murders for her eldritch masters. Mareva, plagued with chronic tumors, is too horrified to acknowledge her divine role in the coming apocalypse. And as her growths multiply, so too does her desperation. Wow, those would sound really awesome. I'm not too big on like sex scenes in like horror books. I just find them boring, usually, unless it like really propels the story, but I'm just not into them. But this sounds kind of cool because it has like this kind of weird, messed up, twist to it. Maybe kind of a little bit kind of Clive Barker-ish, kind of Giger-ish, maybe in the sense of just like it's sensual, but it's horror, there's something going on. So this actually sounds really cool. This sounds really awesome. I like the name of the book a lot, Sister Maiden Monster. That's awesome. So the next book is Eric LaRocca, The Trees Grew Because I Bled There, Collected Stories. This is also signed by the author. 8 stories of dark fiction from a master storyteller, exploring the shadow side of love. These are tales of grief, obsession, control, intricate examinations of trauma and tragedy in raw, poetic prose. A woman imagines horrific scenarios whilst caring for her infant niece. Online posts chronicle a cancer diagnosis. A couple in the park with their small child encounter a stranger with horrific consequences. A toxic relationship reaches a terrifying solution. So I don't read a lot of this type of horror that often. I really prefer to read supernatural. It's just what turns me on. There's nothing I can do about it. But I do like this kind of stuff. It's just like kind of have to be in the mood with it. And with spring coming and summer coming, I don't know what it is, but reading this kind of horror in the sun, like at the park, at the beach, at the cemetery, like wherever, I don't know, there's something kind of different about it. Like I really dig it. I don't know what it is. So this is really cool. I've heard so much about this author. I'm just always like, I don't know if it's for me, So now we get to open up the best part of the box, and I can tell it's definitely a paperback. Ready for the reveal? Oh shit. Oh, it's Stephen King's The Gunslinger, the Dark Tower series. I've heard a lot of people talk about how good these books are. I remember someone once told me that they thought Stephen King's sci-fi was much better than his horror. I don't know if that's true or not because I haven't really read any of his sci-fi. So this book was printed, let's take a guess. I don't know, early 2000s maybe? Originally printed in 1978. And this one is 2003. But there's an ad for something for 2012 back here, so I don't know, I guess 2012.
In The Gunslinger, Stephen King introduces readers to one of his most enigmatic heroes, Roland of Gilead, the Alaskan gunslinger. He is a haunting figure, a loner, on a spellbinding journey into good and evil in a desolate world which frighteningly echoes our own. In his first step towards the powerful and mysterious Dark Tower, Roland encounters an alluring woman named Alice, begins a friendship with Jake, a kid from New York, and faces an agonizing choice between damnation and salvation as he pursues the man in black. Both grippingly realistic and eerily dreamlike, The Gunslinger leaves readers eagerly awaiting the next chapter.
It doesn't tell me that much besides like there's a guy who makes a few friends and then he has to make a decision. So I'm not really even sure like exactly what it is. I'm sure it's epic, but I think it's like synopses like these, like when I read them and I'm just like, I don't know, it's not telling me that much.
Tell me more. Oh.
Obviously, I don't want a synopsis to tell me anything that's going to take away from my reading experience. If you know the author, you're like totally willing to take the chance, right? But if you don't know them, I feel like it's such a big disservice. But this is an interesting book for me to have because I've always kind of been curious about it. Let's check this spoiler card and see if there's anything fun for us to know. So this is the March book, and the new release is The Trees Grew Because I Bled There by Eric LaRocca. After the response to our last Eric LaRocca special edition, we knew we had to pull some strings to get the latest collection of dark, strange horror stories into this box. This hand-signed special limited edition hardback is full of stories that will make your skin crawl straight off your body and bury itself in the garden. Sister Maiden Monster by Lucy A. Snyder is a visceral story set in the aftermath of our planet's disastrous transformation and told through the eyes of three women trying to survive the nightmare. This story was called Lucky Coin by Owen Morgan, and I was right. This is called Have You Seen the Mothman? Okay, and that's everything. So I think my favorites in this box are the Sister Maiden Monster. I think this is going to be an amazing, interesting, weird read for me. I'm really just into that whole, like, this synopsis is great. Like, it really just like pulled me in. It gives me a really good idea of what I might be expecting in here, but this sounds awesome. And of course I like the We All Float Down Here. I love Pennywise. So that was the Abominable box for March. Super stoked. So let me know what you thought about the books in this box, especially this one, Gunslinger. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. Please take care of yourselves, look out for each other, and I will talk to you next time.